Yo, what is up? Joshua Casper here, and we're going to be working in Massive again inside of Ableton Live. This is a continuation of my quick tutorial, Quick Massive Sounds, number 5 for bass. I use it in glitch hop, but I'm sure it can be used in hip hop or dubstep or probably even some complextro or anything really. I'm going to stop listing genres just for the heck of it. But this is the sound we have, and if you don't already have this sound by either downloading the patch or following along with the tutorial and making it yourself, I'm going to leave links below, and you got to go do that first so we can all be on the same page. So go ahead and do that and come back if you haven't. And here we go. We're going to get started. This is the sound we should all have. And all I have below here, I've added a little drum pattern. It's nothing too crazy. But this is the sound. Turn it down just a tad. And that's just the MIDI I was using for that in that last tutorial. But I'm going to come in and change up that MIDI a little bit. I'm going to click right here on the piano to select all that's on that note all the way throughout the MIDI clip. I'm going to hold down Shift and click all the notes below it, these first 4 here, the C4, A sharp 3, G sharp 3, and the G. And I'm going to hit delete. I'm going to get rid of them because I don't want them. And now we have a little bit of a different pattern here. It's more kind of hip-hoppy. Let's listen to it. So that's pretty cool, but let's get some more variation real quickly by hitting Control-D to duplicate that channel. And the next thing I'm going to do is come in right here and delete this. Come in and delete this. Delete this. And delete this. And right now it would run the same because it's 2 instances of Massive and they're both set up the same. But what I'm going to do is come into this MIDI part and I'm going to drag over these first F2 hits right here. I'm just going to drag them over so they're a full quarter note. Okay? So, oh, that's not right, is it? That's what I want, so I'm just going to duplicate that. Boom. That's much easier. So now that that's done, I've got a little bit of variation in the track already, but what I'm going to do is come into this Massive, the second instance of Massive, and come into the Performer and change up these lines down here. So if you come into Load Curve, and we'll just add some different things here. Like for this part, I'm going to end this, and I also don't want... let's try this. So I like that. I like the wub wub here, but I don't want this triple hit right here. Let's try this. See what that sounds like. And that's cool. That's all I'm going to do right now. You can obviously go in and fine-tune it. But I'm just going to keep this tutorial moving so we don't spend a lot of time with me trying to get it sounding, super terrific when you can just do that yourself. Come out, and obviously if you wanted to get even more crazy, you could duplicate it 4 times or even more, however many you want, but I mean that's fairly obvious. So now this is what we have. That sounds cool. So that's not too beefy, but what I'm going to do is shift-click both of those, right-click, and hit Group Tracks. And then I'm going to add all my effects and stuff that I want to affect both of these into the group to save on CPU so we're not duplicating stuff. So first thing I'm going to do, come into an EQ, drag it on that group, and hit that low cut. And then the next thing I'm going to do is drag in this Sugar Bites Wow, and just bring up the overdrive a little bit, and let's just see how much that adds to it. As you can already hear, it's sounding a lot better. Now, just a housekeeping note, when I make my tracks, I always do a couple of things with my groups. 1, I color them, and 2, I Control R to rename, and I rename them in all caps. Mid bass. And the reason why I do that is so when I export stuff, I have it all, I have my group tracks separated from the regular tracks. And you'd obviously want to come in and rename this stuff too, but we're not going to do that right now. So that's pretty cool, right? The next thing we're going to do is Control-Shift-T to add a new MIDI track. And then I'm going to pull down each of these into the MIDI. And then I'm going to highlight this and duplicate it, Control-D. And then I'm going to highlight them all and come in and go Consolidate, so it makes it one MIDI clip. Double-click to bring it in. I'm going to go... First thing I'm going to do is bring in these F3s, these big ones, holding Shift and clicking on them all, and then holding Shift and hitting the down arrow, and I'm going to bring it down to the F2. And then I'm going to go Control-A to select them all, hold down Shift, and bring them down an octave. And then some more variation. I'm going to have it walk up here and then walk down here, and then I'm going to add an operator to this track, and I'm going to right click and group tracks, but it's really only grouping that one. And again, I'm going to color this and Control R, and I'm going to name it Sub. That's sweet. The reason why I do that is I'm going to add a sidechain compressor to the track, and if I want to freeze the operator later on down the line to keep things going smoothly and save on CPU, I can't do that with the sidechainer on there. So I have to put that on the group and then put all the other effects on the operator channel so I can freeze them and save some CPU. But in the operator, actually I'm going to use a preset, and I'm just going to use the hip-hop sub bass. And the only change I'm going to make is I'm going to come into pitch, click on the pitch over here and hit glide, and that way it's not all choppy right here where this happens. And I'm also going to add an EQ8. I've got a sub EQ. You don't have to do this. You can use your own, whatever. But when I do this, it boosts it right here, so I'm going to turn this down, and I usually have to turn it down to about -11, -12. And so that should be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and add a compressor to the group like I said I was going to do. And there it is. Drag it on here. Compress it. Sidechain to the drums. And I'm going to use FF1 because it seems to work better, and drag it down a little bit. So now that we've done all that, let's see how our track is shaping up now. And I assure you, it's pretty dope. Okay, and that's pretty much it. I hope that helped. I hope I gave you a little bit of insight on there. We didn't do too much, but we have the start of what I think could be a really dope beat. What I might do is continue to work on this, and as I add things to it, I will put up a tutorial about how to do it. So what I would suggest is, if you want to follow along, kind of get this MIDI, kind of copy that MIDI, pause it and copy it, pause it and copy it here, and then pause this and copy this sub here, and just follow along. And maybe if you even want to put in the same drum pattern, that's cool. But just keep cracking, and hopefully we can build a whole track together. How does that sound? I don't know. I'm kind of rambling, but I'm going to play this one more time, and I will see you next time.